Hello, on this tutorial we are going to learn how to configure user's home folder and map it to individual's user's profile accordingly. So to do that, we'll have to have a file server. We can do uh, the practice onto our domain controller, but I'll highly encourage you to have separate file server so that you can do more uh, experiment onto that server. So to begin with, we'll have to click on new, and then we'll have to name the virtual machine, which is FS01 Contoso, and the type will be Microsoft Windows, and version will be Windows 2016 64-bit, and click next, and RAM will be 2 GB. We'll create the virtual disk now, and file type will be VMDK. Click next, and our empty virtual machine is ready. So we'll go ahead and change the network settings from NAT to bridge, and then click OK, and we'll go ahead and click on start. We'll click up pointing green arrow to point to our ISO file, which is inside the installer subfolder, and this is our ISO file, Windows 2016 server, and we'll go ahead and click choose, start, and this will start the installation process. And we'll keep the default settings as it is. Click next, click install now, and we'll select the last option where it says Windows Server 2016 Data Center Evaluation Desktop Experience. So we'll go ahead and select that and click next, and we'll go ahead and click on I accept the license terms. Click next, click custom install Windows only, and then click next. And this process is going to take some time, and also this installation process will restart the server twice until we get to the password prompt.
Installation, it will restart the virtual machine, and if it prompts to enter any key, please do not enter any key. If you do that, it will restart your server installation process, like the way we basically can see that message when we put the bootable CD onto our physical server. The same thing, we are not using the physical server here, we are using virtual server. So once we get our server ready, then we also will have to change the server name, and we also have to enter the IP address that we like to add. So Again, server is rebooting, so it's going to finish up the installation soon. And this will prompt us to enter our local admin password, which we can uh, enter as anything that we want. And that's basically a common thing whenever we install any server or workstation. There you go. So enter the password that you wish to keep, and then click finish. And we'll go ahead and log on to the server now. Click input, keyboard, insert all, control delete. So that's our server, and that's the local administrator. So now this will configure the initial settings for the Windows 2016 server that we'll need. And it will work slow at the beginning, but once the server manager starts with its all the configuration settings, then we can change the name of the server and restart. Then it will speed up the process. So right now we'll go ahead and do a few things. Number one, as soon as server manager pops up, we'll go ahead and change the computer name, the server name. So for this, we'll go ahead and click yes to the network, and we'll also go to the command prompt to check the IP address for this server. So let's enter cmd and then enter IP config. So the IP address of this server is 192.168.1.227, but I like to add a static IP address for this server. So let's see if I have the IP address 192.168.1.11 is available or not. Uh, it is super slow as the server manager just started, so I guess this IP address will not send any echo reply. So which means this IP address is available. We can go ahead and use this IP address. How about 10? Because 10 is our domain controller. Let's go ahead. I just press Control C to cancel the operation, or you can go ahead and click onto this X out to close the operation, and then we can go back to the CMD to check to see if it works any better or not. So let's go to the CMD. So we'll ping 192.168.1.10. which is our domain controller. So we can go to the domain controller and make sure that this IP addresses belong to the domain controller. So this is our domain controller. So let's go to input, keyboard, insert all, control delete. So enter domain admin account, password. So we'll go to the search and then CMD and IP config. So this is 1.10 and we were pinging 1.10. so which means it was chatting with the domain controller and it was getting the echo reply. So now if we try to check if 11 is available or not, so 11 we are not getting any echo reply, so which means we can use 11 IP address. So we'll right click onto the network icon and click open network and sharing center. Once we have this, we'll click on change adapter settings, right click onto the Ethernet and go to properties, and then double click onto the TCP IPv4 and use the following DNS server address. This will be, before we put the DNS address, we'll use the static IP address for the server, which was 192.168.1.11, and default gateway would be 192.168.1.1, which is our gateway router. DNS server is our domain controller IP address 192.168.1.10, and the DNS server would be 888. So our IP address is configured, so you can go ahead and close all this window, enter exit from command prompt and go to the local server, and computer name, we'll change it to FS01 Contoso. Click OK. Click OK. Click close. Restart now. The server is going to be restarted now, and as soon as we get our login screen, we'll log on as local admin again, and then we'll join this server to our domain controller. So here you go. Let's click input, keyboard, insert all, control delete, and now from here we'll have to click on local server, click computer name, then click change, and we can enter the domain name is contoso.local and click OK. And we'll have to enter the domain admin user ID and password. If you do remember, we added Harry Potter as domain admin. Let's go to the domain controller and check. This is DC01, which is our domain controller. We don't want this command prompt, so this is our user. If you don't see, start Active Directory users and computers, and then double click on Harry Potter logon and click member of. He's a member of domain admin, so which means Harry Potter will be able to join this server to the domain controller. So user ID would be harry.potter@contoso.local and enter the password. So it says welcome to contoso.local domain. Success. We'll go ahead and click close and restart, and now we'll go to the domain controller. This is our domain controller, and click on to the computers, or click on this refresh icon here. See this FS01 Contoso is been already added. This is our file server. So that's our local admin. We don't want that, so click other users, and Harry Potter would be the admin. Great, it worked. So now as soon as we get to the server manager, we'll check our computer settings to see whether this computer is really connected with domain controller or not. If it was not, our user ID and password would not work, which we just used, because we used the domain admin user ID and password followed by our domain name. So here you go. So we'll go ahead and click on local server, and we'll see computer name is FS01 Contoso and the domain is contoso.local, which means we are connected to the domain. Now we'll create a folder called home folder. So we'll go to the file explorer and then double click on this PC, double click on C drive, right click, new folder, and we'll call it as home. And then we'll have to share this folder. So we'll go to the properties and sharing, and now it's not shared. So we'll click onto the share, and we'll have to enter everyone with read permission and click share. And now you can see the shared location \\\fs01 contoso \home. That will be our shared location. Click done, click close, and now from domain controller or from anywhere, if you can enter that network location, like this is our domain controller, this is our domain controller. Let's right click onto the start menu, click run, and enter that network location, which is FS01 contoso \home, and we can see the shared location, but nothing is there, of course. Now we are in domain controller. Let's pick up a user. We'll pick up a user, Jane Doe. So let's double click onto the user, and we are going to configure the home folder now. We'll click on profile tab, and this is the home folder module. So we'll click connect, and we'll click H drive, and then we'll enter that network location, which is FS01 contoso \home, and you'll have to enter the user variable called user name ampersand username ampersand, and then if you click on apply, then it will create the home folder automatically. Like Jane Doe's home folder will be Jane Doe. Now click OK, and before you hit OK, we'll have to make sure that the connect will be pointing to the H drive. Click OK, and now we can go to our file explorer, double click on C drive, double click on home folder, and we can see that home folder is created. Now this is for Jane Doe, so we'll have to go to our Windows 10 workstation and then log in as Jane Doe. Let's click other users, and we'll click Jane Doe at contoso.local, and now we are supposed to be getting the H drive in File Explorer. So we'll click onto the File Explorer and then click on this PC, and we don't see it. which means it logged on super quick and we'll have to restart the workstation. So we'll right click onto the start and then restart. Let's go ahead and log in again. Other users, Jane-Doe at contoso.local. And let's give few seconds. From the desktop, we'll go to the File Explorer and then click on this PC, and there you go. So Jane-Doe has got a H drive now, and we can see the network location. So the reason is for not working previously. Sometimes it logs on fast, or server takes some time to synchronize the user's profile with its home folder. So that's why it takes some time. So guys, it's very simple. So now if you double click onto the H drive, then right click and click new, and then text document, and it's say Jane, this is a test document. So you can go ahead and save this and exit from here. And this one is Windows 10 workstation. So now we'll go to the file server, and this is our C drive home folder, or we'll double click onto the C drive home folder and then double click onto the Jane-Doe, and then we can see that file is stored. So basically this file is stored in a home folder located in file server, and we are accessing this from Windows 10 workstation, and we can see this from File Explorer. So
I hope this was very informative for you. Thank you.